Hello students, today we will study about wages and incentives. We all know from ancient times the workers are paid for their work and some other benefits are also given to the worker. From this payment or benefits we should be able to know which is terms as wages and which is terms as incentives. So by the end of this lecture you will be able to differentiate between wages and incentives. We should also know what are the various wages plans or incentive plans which is used in the industries. So by the end of this lecture you will be able to explain the wage payment plans and you will be able to explain the various incentive plans. So by the end of this lecture you will be able to explain the incentives for direct and indirect labor, and we should also know what is direct labor and what is indirect labor. I am Vijender Singh, working as a lecturer at Rajiv Gandhi Government Polytechnic, Narwana. So let's start the lecture.
So in this lecture, we will cover wages, incentives, types of wages, wage payment plans, types of incentives, wage incentive plans, characteristic of good wage incentive plans, direct and indirect worker, and last, types of wage incentive plans for direct and indirect worker. Let's start the lecture.
So first one is wages. It may be defined as the payment which is given to the worker for their work or service. Wages include both money and non-money payments. Non-money payments are the payments which is given to the workers to fulfill his basic needs or to fulfill his living standards. That is termed as wages in terms of non-money. Although the wages includes salary, but some experts differentiate between the wages and salary. According to some experts, wages is the payment paid to the workers on hourly basis, and salary is the payment paid to the workers on the basis other than the hourly rate. So next one is your incentives. When workers or employees are working efficiently and doing more hard work, then some benefits are given to the workers. These benefits are terms as incentives. So incentives is defined as a reward which is given to the worker for its efficient and hard work. The rewards may be in terms of money like the workers are given bonus. The rewards may be in terms of child education allowance. The rewards may be in terms of their paid vacation. The rewards may be in terms of promotion. The reward may be in terms of pension. If the rewards may be in terms of health insurance. These are terms as incentives which is given to the workers. The incentives are given to the workers to motivate and to encourage the worker to work more efficiently and more hard work. So next is your types of wages. In the types of wages, the first one is your nominal wage. Nominal wage is the amount of money which is paid to the worker for his effort. It does not include any allowances or benefit which is given to the worker. Next is your real wage. Real wage represents the amounts of goods and service that the money wage will buy. Let's take an example to understand the real wage. Let's take an example of Mr. A that earns rupees 10,000 in the year of 2010, and his expenditure in the year of 2010 to buy food is rupees 3,000. His expenditure on cloth is 2,000 and on rent is 5,000 rupees. But in the year of 2020, his wage increased to 20,000 and his expenditure to buy the same amount of food is 6,000 and to buy the same amount of cloth is 4,000 and for the same building his rent is 10,000. So here you can see that his earning is increased by 10,000, but he can buy the same amount of food, clothes and rent with 20,000 in 2020 uh, as he can buy the same amount of food, cloth and rent in 2010 with the rupees of 10,000. So his real wage does not increase. His real wage is same, but his earning is increased by 10,000. Next one is your minimum wage. It is the wage which is paid to the worker to fulfill his basic need, or you can say that it is the wage paid to the worker to keep him alive. Our basic need is food, cloth and shelter. The wage or the money which fulfill our these basic need is termed as minimum wage. Each worker or each employee cannot pay less than the minimum wage as prescribed in Minimum Wage Act 1948. Next one is your living wage. Living wage is the wage paid to the worker for maintaining his living standards. It is the sum of basic need and other needs. Other needs are to maintain his living standards like children education allowance, insurance, medical allowance, transport facility, building, quarters, etc. These are the other needs which is used to maintain the worker living standards. Next one is your fair wage. Fair wage is the wage paid to the worker which is fair as regard to work accomplished by him. Now you all can differentiate between wage and incentives. Next one is your wage payment plans. You should know wage is the most important factor which influence the employee-employer relationship. So good wage plan must be necessary. What is the requirement of good wage plan? A good wage plan is one which satisfies the employee and brings profit to the management. Wage payment plan can be classified in two groups. First one is your time rate system, which is also known as non-incentive plans. Second one is your piece rate system, which is known as incentive wage plans. Let's study in details the wage payment plans. First wage payment plan is time rate system, which is also known as non-incentive plan. In this system, an employee is paid on the basis of time worked. The most common time wage is hourly rate or a salary. Salary means a flat wage or per week or a flat wage per month, which is given to the worker. In this system, the wage can be calculated by multiplying the number of working hour to rate per hour. Let's take an example to understand the time rate system. Suppose Mr. A working 5 days per week and 8 hours per day, and he is paid with 50 per hours. So the total number of hours Mr. A worked is 5 into 8, 40 hours, and its wage can be calculated by 40 hours multiplied by the hours rate, which is 50, and 40 into 50, which is 2000 per week. So his wage in a week is rupees 2000. This is how we calculate the wages in time rate system. Time rate system has its own advantage and disadvantage. So next is your advantage and disadvantages. Let's take a look of the various advantages of time rate system. The first advantage is it is simple and easy to use. The second is regularity. Since the workers are getting a regular and fixed amount of wages at the end of month, this will give to the protection of salary to the workers. Next is quality. Since this system does not concern about the quantity of the product, the workers are working efficiently to give the top quality of product, which will ultimately leads to the less wastage of material. Last, it is the most preferable and most popular method of wage payment plans. Next is disadvantage. The first disadvantage is lack of incentives. Since both efficient and inefficient workers are getting the same amount of wages, the workers which are working efficiently gets demotivated, and the efficiency of these workers is also reduced, which results in loss of efficiency. The next is more supervision. Since the workers, there is no specific amount of work limit is given to the workers becomes careless, and which ultimately leads to the loss of production. The last one is difficulty in assessment of work of individual workers, because no record of individual performance is maintained in this system. So you cannot assess the efficiency of individual worker. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of time rate system. Second wage payment plan is piece rate system, which is also known as incentive plan. In this system, an employee is paid for the amount of output he produced per day, and the wage can be calculated by multiplying the number of pieces produced per day to the rate per piece. Let's take an example. Suppose Mr. A produces 50 pieces per day and he is paid a piece rate with a piece rate system of rupees 5 per piece. So the wage of Mr. A can be calculated by multiplying 50 into 5, which is rupees 250. So the wage of Mr. A in a day is rupees 250. This system is very simple and easy to implement, but it also has its merits and demerits. The various advantages of piece rate system is it is very simple and easy to use. Since this system focuses on the number of quantity produced in a day, which will result in increase in production. The more the number of pieces produced by a worker, the more he will get paid, and which results in increase in the profit to the employer, which leads in better employee-employer relation and gives motivation to the worker to produce more and more product. Next is this system requires less supervision. Since the workers are producing more and more product in the same given time, the supervision cost is reduced and which reduce the cost of production. Next is disadvantages. Since the workers are focusing on producing more and more number of unit, this will lead to the loss of quality of product. This system provides no job security, no guaranteed minimum wage, and because the workers are focusing on number of unit produced, this system leads to the improper use of machinery and equipments. And this system provides no fixed income to the worker. This is the merits and demerits, or you can say that advantages and disadvantages of piece rate system. As you all know, the incentives are the benefits or rewards which is given to the worker for his efficient and hard work. And incentives should be such that it should encourage and motivate the worker to work more efficiently. So the various types of incentives is classified. The first one is direct incentive and the second one is indirect incentive. The second classification is based on financial. The first one is your financial incentive and the second one is your non-financial incentive. Let's study these incentive in details. So first one is your direct incentive. It is the incentive which is given to the worker for its individual performance to improve the productivity or profit of an organization or company. So it is used where the performance of individual worker can be measured and where performance of individual worker cannot be measured, or you can say that in a group task the incentives are given in terms of indirect incentives. So indirect incentives are the incentives which are given to a group of workers for their work to improve the productivity or profit of a company or organization. It is also used where teamwork is required. So your next classification is based on financial. The first one is your financial incentive. Financial incentives are the incentives which is given directly in terms of cash to the worker for their efforts and hard work. The workers can be given bonus or the profit that company earn by increasing the productivity can be shared with the worker, and the incentives which are not given in terms of money or the incentives given to the worker to improve its standard of living is known as non-financial incentives. Non-financial incentives covers promotion to the workers, or the workers can be given a job according to his talent which gives his job satisfaction, or the workers can become permanent which gives his job security, or the workers can be shifted to better working condition, or the workers can be given awards, or the workers can be given housing, medical, transport, education facility, or to his family. So these are the financial and non-financial incentives. So next is your wage incentive plan. To calculate the wage incentive plan, First, you should know how to calculate the performance of a worker. The performance of a worker can be calculated by setting a work standard of a plant. And after setting work standard of plant, you can measure the performance of a worker by calculating the product quality and the quantity of product and utilization of plant, material, machine to complete a job, or the efficiency of a worker to complete a job. These are the tools to calculate the performance of a worker. These tools helps to create a good wage incentive plan. A good wage incentive plan is important to maintain better relationship between employee and employer. The characteristics of a good wage incentive plans are: it should be simple and easy to understand and easy to operate. It should give guaranteed minimum wage to the workers. It should be well planned. It should give reward to workers for their effort and achievements. The reward should not be less than for their effort and achievements. And you should not limit the workers' incentive earnings. And it should be like that it gives profit to both employee and employer. It should motivate the worker and encourage the worker to work more efficiently. But it should not be like that the workers focus on increasing the productivity, then proper utilization of resources cannot be happen. So it should be such that the proper utilization of resources can be done to increase the productivity. First, we will see direct and indirect worker. So direct worker are those workers who directly involves in the production, or those workers who operate the machine and turns out the production. For example, a drilling or milling machine operator can be considered as direct worker. Indirect worker are those workers who assist, guide and supervise the direct worker during production. For example, a maintenance man, material handler, shop inspector, supervisor, foreman, manager are considered as indirect worker. So these are your direct worker and indirect workers. The various types of incentive plans is also based on direct and indirect worker. The wage incentive plans is classified according to direct and indirect worker. The first one is incentive plans for direct worker and second one is incentive plans for indirect worker. So first is your incentive plans for direct worker. There are more than 25 incentive plans for direct worker, but the basis plan are limited. So in this lecture, we will cover the basic incentive plans for direct worker. So basic incentive plans cover first the straight piece rate system. Second, straight piece rate system with guaranteed minimum wage. Third, differential piece rate system. After that, Gantt plan, then Hasley plan, then Rowan plan, Bedex plan, Emerson efficiency plan, and in the last group incentive plans. Let's study these plans in details. So first is your straight piece rate system. In this system, the payment is given to the worker according to number of pieces produced in a day, and his earning will be calculated by multiplying the number of pieces produced with rate per piece. Let's take an example. Suppose a rate per piece is rupees 50 and the worker produces 10 pieces per day. Then his earning will be 10 into 50 rupees 500. This system is very simple to understand and easy to operate. Since the workers are earning according to the number of units he produces, which results in increase in production and less supervision is required. This system also has its disadvantage. The first disadvantage is it decreases the quality of product, or you can say that it increases the inspection of job since the workers are focusing only on the production of unit. Second one, it does not guarantee minimum wage. This system gives the wages to the workers only according to the number of pieces he produces. It does not guarantee any minimum wage. This is the major drawback of this system, because of which this system is not used nowadays. And the last, fresher get less incentives than experienced worker. The application of this worker was on where the repetitive jobs are and where large amount of production is required. So next incentive plans is state piece rate system with guaranteed minimum wage. It is the improvement of state piece rate system and overcome its disadvantage of guaranteed minimum wage and provide guaranteed minimum wage to the worker. Uh, in this system, an output standard is set according to the job and the wage, and then wage is calculated according to the output standard. Let's take an example. Suppose output standard set is 16 piece per day and rate per hour is given rupees 10 and total hours in a day is 8 hours. The first we will calculate the rate per piece. The rate per piece will be 5 per piece and the guaranteed minimum wage for a worker for 8 hours is rupees 80. This is the minimum wage that will be given to the worker whether he achieve output standard or he produces unit less than the output standard. Suppose worker A uh, produces the pieces less than the output standard, then his wage will be calculated by 10 into 8 rupees 80. This is the minimum wage he will get. And suppose a worker B which produce more than the output standard. Suppose he produces 20 pieces per day which is greater than the output standard, and his wage will be calculated according to the number of pieces he produced. 20 into 5, that is rupees 100. So he will get more than the worker which produce less than or equal to the output standard. This system has advantage of providing guaranteed minimum wage to the worker, but it also has disadvantage of it does not provide sufficient incentive for efficient worker. For example, the output standard set is 16 pieces per day and worker A produces 10 pieces per day, worker B produces 14 pieces per day and worker C produces 16 pieces per day. But the wages of all three workers are same, which is the guaranteed minimum wage as set by the output standard. So it will demotivate the efficient workers, because of which it is also not used nowadays in the industries. So next is your differential piece rate system. It is the improvement of straight piece rate system with guaranteed minimum wage. This system has two differential piece rate system. First one is Taylor differential piece rate system. In this system, two wage rates are given, higher wage rate and lower wage rate. The worker which produces less than the standard output will be given lower wage rate, and the worker which produces more than the standard output rate will be given wages according to the higher wage rate system. Next is your Merrick differential piece rate system. It is the improvement of Taylor piece rate system. In this system, three wage rates are given: higher wage rate, average wage rate and lowest wage rate. The worker which produces equal to 70% of standard output will be given wages according to lower wage rate, and the workers which produces 100% standard output will be given wage according to average wage rate system, and the workers which produces more than the 100% standard output will be given wage rate according to highest wage rate system. So next is your Gantt plan. It is the improvement over differential piece rate system. In addition to the differential piece rate system, it is also provide bonus to the worker who completed their job in standard time. So next is your Hazley plan. Like previous plan, it also gives guaranteed minimum wage. But in this system, the output standards are based according to the previous production records, and additional bonus is given to the worker who exceeds the output standards. Normally it is 50% of the bonus, and the wages is calculated by this formula. In this formula, this one is your minimum wage, and this is the additional bonus is given to the worker who exceeds the output standard. And in this formula, R is your rate per hour, T is your actual time to complete a job, and S is your standard time to complete a job. So let's take an example to understand the Hazley plan. Suppose total hours in a day is 12 hours and rate per hour is given to the worker is rupees 10 and standard time is 6 hours for a job. Suppose worker A completes a job in 4 hours, which is less than the standard time, and his wage is calculated by the formula of Hazley plan will be rupees 50. So its wage rate per hour will be 50 by 4, that is 12.5 per hour, which is greater than the normal wage rate. So his total wage in a day, or you can say that his total wage in a 12-hour shift will be 12 into 12.5 rupees 150. In the same case, worker B, which complete a job in 6 hours per job, which is equal to the standard time, his wage will be calculated 10 into 6 will be 60, and his wage rate, his normal wage rate is rupees 10, and then he will earn in a 12-hour shift 10 into 12 is rupees 120, which is less than the worker A. So in this you will see the worker which is more efficient will be given more wage, and the worker which is less efficient will be given the normal wage rate. So Hazle plan provides guaranteed minimum wage, and it is simple and easy to understand, and also management share percentage of bonus which workers don't like, and the output standard is based on previous records which may not be accurate or fair to the workers. Next is your Rowan plan. It is the modification of Hazle plan. Like Hazle plan, it provides guaranteed minimum wage and output standards are set according to the previous production record. But in this plan, the additional bonus is given to the worker is different than Hazle plan. The additional bonus is given by S minus T into RT divided by S, where R is your rate per hour, T is actual time to complete a job, and S is your standard time to complete a job. So like Hazle plan, it also provides the guaranteed minimum wage to the workers, and fresh workers are not penalized, and management also share its percentage of bonus. The disadvantage of this plan is workers don't like the management percentage of share. Second one, it is not simple and easy to operate. Third one, the incentives for high productive worker is insufficient. So next is your Bidox plan. It will overcome the disadvantages of Hazle and Rowan plan. Like Hazle and Rowan plan, it also provides guaranteed minimum wage to the worker. But in this plan, a new term B is introduced, which means unit of work, and 1B is 1 standard work minute. And standard is set 60B per hour. And if a worker achieves 16B in an hour, then his efficiency will be 100%. Initially, 75% bonus is paid to the worker who earns 16B in an hour, and his wage will be calculated by this formula, where R is your rate per hour, and T is your actual time to complete a job, and T is your actual number of earn in an actual time to complete a job, and S is your standard time to complete a job, and NS is standard number of B to complete a job. Next is your Emerson efficiency plan. Like previous plan, it also gives guaranteed minimum wage to the worker. And in this plan, the wages are paid to the worker according to their efficiency. And their efficiency is calculated by the ratio of standard or allowed time to the actual time to complete a job. If a worker is having an efficiency 60 to 70%, he earns an incentive from 0 to 20% of bonus. And if a worker having efficiency above 100%, for every 1% increase in output, he gets 1% increase in his incentive. So last incentive plan for direct worker is group incentive plan. This plan is preferred where individual performance of a worker cannot be measured accurately, and where the task is given in a group, or you can say that where the workers are equally skilled. In these situations, the group incentive plan is preferred, and the principle to apply the group incentive plan is first evaluate the collective performance of a group, then calculate the total earnings and incentives which is earned by the group, and divide the earnings equally or any proportion among the worker according to the skill of the worker. So this plan is simple and easy to understand, and a team spirit is built between the workers, and one of the major advantages of this plan is a less skilled worker learn from high skilled worker and improve its skill. But in this plan, the distribution of earning between the worker is difficult, and it does not work with large group size, and it is difficult to achieve the rapid increase in production. So these are the incentive plans for direct workers. Next, we will see the incentive plans for indirect workers. So next topic is your incentives for indirect workers. As you all know, indirect workers are those workers who assist, guide or supervise the direct workers during the production. So indirect workers are of different types. So first is like a material handler, crane operator, maintenance man, setup man, etc. For these workers, the incentives are given in terms of bonus or at a flat rate of 10%, or the incentives will be given for these worker at a half rate as the incentives for direct worker. The second types of indirect workers are supervisory staff. The bonus or incentives for supervisory staff are based on the number of units produced by his department in a day or in a week, and the number of work hours saved by his department for the same output, and the number of reduction in scrap and wastage, and the proper utilization of resources. Next type of indirect workers are managerial staff. The managerial staffs are given incentives in terms of bonus, issue of shares, in terms of profit sharing or fringe benefit like transport allowance, house rent, or etc. These are the fringe benefits. So this is the incentives for indirect workers. Now your unit of wages and incentives is finished, and you can differentiate between wages and incentives. You can explain the wage payment plan. You can explain the various incentives given to the workers. You can explain the various incentives for direct and indirect labor. That's all. Thank you.